will show up if they want to show up. So I've come to a point where I'm like Breaking Bad. I was that teacher that was passive, didn't stand up for myself, and just lost, didn't have a strong voice. And over time, shit just kept happening and happening and happening until one day I was just like, I need to do something about it. But instead of selling really high quality crystal meth, I am going to be pushing high quality journaling programs that really reverse curses, break spells, and help people transform their life tragedies into a love story. So that's my story. And I feel like now that I've come back from my 9-month trip to 9 different countries and wrote that book on breaking spells, I've come to a point where I feel like I'm integrating my shadow. Like I really own my shadows, but leveraging it for good, in that I do feel like I deserve at this point to make money, to sustain this organization, to sustain everybody involved in this organization, and to double down on my efforts. Because my dad already invested 20 grand in this organization, just donated it to me. I didn't spend it efficiently, but it gave me my life back. So he's really grateful for that. I invested $20,000 in this organization as well. So overall, 40K into this organization, hit or miss. That's my learning lesson, right? Learning how to grow, do websites and buy a camera, interview people, publish books, copyright, all that, yada, yada, yada. Well, I'm at a point where I'm ready to make money. It is no longer about, oh, I'm either going to be a starving artist and make this successful, or I'm going to quit and let it go. Because I started getting resentful with Love Story, because I realized I wasn't sustaining myself that I need to be sustaining. So I took some of the donation money that we were given this year by my friend Inga and the Pergamon family, and I invested it in first Taylor and Chris Traffic and Funnels, because I realized that even though Annalyn, myself, Callie, Katie, and McKenna have graduated the program, nobody's signing up for our courses because something's missing. And John and I had a good discussion a few days ago, about 2 to 3 hours, on what's missing. And thank you for that, John, for giving me the honesty of where people are at. Because I feel like I'm a little bit out of touch. So I need to go back to understanding my audience and building that bridge so we can convert people to sign up for these classes. Secondly, I'm committed that we start selling the way any broker, any other salesperson selling a car or a house or something, you know, it takes effort to get sponsors. It takes research. It takes lots of effort putting together the right sponsorship package, iterating, listening to what the corporations want from us, and bridging that to the college community while sustaining ourselves. So I no longer have any issues about giving commissions to people who are willing to put that time and energy to do that. That's the only way we could make this sustainable, because if I'm already feeling resentful of putting effort into this, I can't imagine someone else coming into this and putting in the time and not getting anything out of it. And I want to give social impact and sustainability in terms of being able to feed your children, being able for me to, you know, get back into my life again, get back into where I could feel independent and secure as a 36-year-old woman living independently in Los Angeles. So that said, let's go over the agenda. Any questions or comments thus far, Annalyn, John? Good? Thumbs up, yes? All right, okay. Annalyn, would you mind going into the Slack and taking minutes for us today?
Yeah, I can take minutes. I am not going to do it in Slack, but I will take minutes.
Okay. You know
Okay.
what? Yeah, you don't have to take it in Slack. You just need to, let's see. It's this one right here.
Okay.
All you have to do is click on the link. Are you in front of a laptop?
No.
Oh, okay. John, do you happen to have a laptop in front of you, and would you be able to type? You're on mute, but it seems to me like you're saying yes. So what you have to do, John, is on the board Slack channel, just click on this link right here and it'll take you straight into this page right here.
Right.
And then we'll discuss this.
Yeah, what I'm gonna do, what I did the other day, I'm looking at you on my laptop, and I've got a desktop on the other to my left, and I'll work in there.
Perfect. Thank
Okay.
you so much, John. So
I don't know how much you want, but
just whatever we're gonna talk about, just annotate as you go. And whatever's missing, no worries. This is gonna be recorded.
okay.
This is being recorded right now, and it's also going to be posted on our public bylaws. Since we're a nonprofit, we're like being super transparent. So there we are. Okay. I was thinking, and this is something Annalyn and I talked about as well, about where our areas are. I mean, given that the first thing is we need to build a strong board, right? And I think part of the reason our board has not been consistent is because I have been all over the place. I have not taken account of realistic things, like people have full-time jobs. People have, this is a volunteership. There is no incentive financially for them to go above and beyond what I've put in. And I had these unrealistic expectations of people. So at this point, I think it's realistic to offer an incentivized package for sales, specifically sponsorship sales. We have a 501c3, we have a great cause, and I think the people right now in this meeting have a big stake in this game. You know, you're here, you on some subconscious or psychological level, you understand, even though you don't know exactly what it is 100%, even I don't, but there's a mystery involved, and there is something that is keeping you here with me with this project. So I believe what we need right now are evangelicals of this organization to go out there and meet with people that have the keys to the treasury box. There are plenty of Fortune 500 companies out there that if they just knew about what we're up to and what we stand for and the kind of miracles that's already being experienced in our pilot, they would be putting money down. They would be investing not just in this organization, but investing in their own employees. Annalyn, would you like to comment or add?
No, I think what you're saying is that we need to talk to people who have larger purse strings than us, right? We have the potential to offer a lot of solutions for a lot of different issues, but there's no way that people like Amazon, Microsoft, and Starbucks know that. We don't have a large enough presence. So if we can go out and say, look at what we've done, look at what we're accomplishing, look at what we're working towards, look at what we can offer your employees, bam. That's a massive selling point.
Yeah. We'll focus on the journaling, because journaling is, you could do it on your own. Like, their employees could do it on their own time. And when they feel more comfortable, they can start engaging with us in our private community online. I also believe in Tom's Shoes model, like buy one, gift one, right? So we can target, and this is something John brought up. John would like, so I'm gonna talk a little about it, and John, feel free to add to it if I'm missing anything. So we discussed, there's so many people that's working for companies like Starbucks, companies like Walmart, Microsoft, who are suffering silently because they're going through something, but they don't have that kind of avenue at work to sesh out and be creative. So we could work with their HR department and offer like X amount of programs for their company. And if they pay above market for what we have to offer for their employees, then they get a tax deduction in addition to, and we could use the profit margins, right, above market value, the profit margins towards paying our own people to go out to colleges, college campuses, and producing free introductory journaling sessions and workshops with the colleges, and begin that way of marketing, and yet and still paying paying our own people, those who have graduated. So I believe if we package the sponsorship correctly, if we position it correctly, and we utilize the same discipline and craft from business builders like JT Fox, like Jay Ibraheem, like Kristen Taylor, the people that are making multi-million dollars on their online businesses that are charging like big ticket items, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 a coaching, like for their coaching packages. We're doing only a fraction of that because we're a nonprofit. But even then, we got to command value for what we offer. We have to. What I've learned, maybe I'm preaching to the choir, just from working in the inner cities and seeing the challenges that I've seen the past 6 years that I was in the inner city, what I've learned is that when it's free, people don't appreciate it. There's no skin in the game. They feel like they're being like forced into something. And the last thing I want people to feel is like we're pushing something on them. I want people to come in because they've already made a commitment to themselves that the pain of stagnation is now greater than the pain of growth, and they are ready. And how they show they're ready is financially investing in themselves. And honestly, that's part of the reason why I haven't given up on the love story yet. I've already put too much in the game that even when I don't feel like it, when I feel like giving up, I know what I've already given in this, and I am not giving up on it. So psychologically, it almost like makes you stronger by committing to something. Comments, John?
No, I agree with you. If people see something that they think will help, they'll be drawn to it. And if they're suffering enough, $150 or $200, whatever, you know, they're spending that every other week, sitting in front of some shrink they're lying to. So, you know, I don't know. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Free never works with this kind of stuff. Because
I think
the people that subscribe on to free want you to do it for them. And nobody can do this for another person. If that makes sense.
I totally agree with you, John. And I agree with the sentiment. I also want to say that, you know, if we focus right now on selling and making the love story a sustainable business, at some point in our future, at some point on our horizon, we can set up scholarship funds. We can set up means so that if you truly do not have whatever amount of money that our program costs, we can help you, right? But at this stage, we are not there. We can barely help ourselves. So we have to be able to build ourselves up so that we're strong enough to carry people if that is something they need.
Agreed.
I agree. And welcome, Ibraheem. Ibraheem is coming from Lebanon right now with he's spending time with
Hey
his family.
guys, how are you? Hey
Good.
John. Hi Annalyn. Hi Mingjie.
Hi.
Welcome!
Welcome.
Yeah. Sorry, a
Ibrahim,
little late.
all-
Time zone.
It's all good. It's been a long time since I was on a phone call with you.
Yeah, it's been a while. How's everyone been doing?
Good.
So-
We're good. We're here.
Great, great.
So,
What I like.
Mingjie,
I'm so glad you're here, Ibraheem. Ibraheem is our CFO, and he's been working with me to build financial models. And I feel like now that I realize less is more. I realize that the key is simplicity, not complexity. I think
Oh.
Ibraheem and I will come up with financial models that are simple now that we have an aim.
Look at this, Mingjie. I wrote it down.
Nice.
That's weird.
I appreciate that. Wow, that's synchronicity. I like the haircut too.
I wrote it this morning when I was watching.
Nice. So Ibraheem, I know your internet is kind of, so don't
What's
worry.
up?
Your internet, it's like up and down. So if you need to turn off your video for faster internet, that'll work too.
Yeah,
Perfect.
definitely.
So now let's talk about sponsorships. I would say let's start with 10K. Let's think big. Let's spend our energy on high ticket and high worth companies that we can partner up with. And we have a vision. We have a unique proposition. For example, let's just start with the journals. We have produced the first augmented reality interactive diary for people going through heartbreak that can link back to a website. That is unheard of right now. There is no book out there that's a diary where you can scan the illustration and it turns into a video, and then you could click on that little link and it goes straight, your phone goes straight into the web platform where you can engage. There's nothing in existence right now but ours. Let's use it to our advantage. Let's get Target involved. Put their little logo on these journals. Get them to donate 35K so we can promise them X amount of journals to be distributed among all X amount of college campuses. How are newspapers like LA Weekly, for example, how are they giving out their newspapers for free? It's all about distribution and awareness, and that will market itself. The Love Story brand is such a unique and beautiful brand that's universal. Who doesn't want to co-create their love story with a God that's defined, confined, and refined in love? You know, I didn't invent it. Verses 4-7, love is patient, love is kind. It's universal. So we have the potential to reach a wide amount of audiences. And if we really believe in this, we can inspire an executive marketing director to say yes to us and say, yes, we will invest 35K as your brand sponsor, CSR partner to support this, because we believe in taking away the stigma of mental health by focusing on the artistic expression and journaling of things. So instead of giving away these diaries with their sponsorship logo, we would be using the money to pay people like Callie, Annalyn, anyone graduating. There's going to be people graduating soon. To go to their nearest campus, we'll be paying them a salary or a stipend, preferably a stipend initially, to just put together a journaling workshop. Because it's not just, John brought up a really good point. When he had the diary in front of him, he didn't know what to do with it. It's so new. He didn't know how to engage with it until we actually, well, John, why don't you kind of tell us your experience with the Love Story Journal?
It wasn't so much that I didn't know what to do with it, but because there are simple instructions about, you know, how to make it work. But I think a lot of people are already isolated. And so now what I've done is I've gotten myself a book with a bunch of pictures in it of people I don't know, and I'm gonna use my phone to somehow connect to something they've said, done, or whatever, and that's supposed to inspire me, and it might. But if I'm in a group of people who are doing the same thing, I'm probably going to feel more inspired. Because the last thing, I mean, for me personally, you know, it's some days it's hard enough just being in my skin, you know, especially in the beginning of something like this. So I think what a lot of people are probably looking for in those early stages is, hey, do I have to do this alone too? I'm already going through it, and I'm you know, I'm suffering this emotional way and that emotional way, and I feel like I'm crazy every day anyway, and I'm trying to find ways to get out of my own skin and get out of the house and do this, that, and the other. Now I've got a book that's telling me to sit down in a quiet place with my cell phone, and I'm not even going to use my cell phone really. I think you can take it from there, right? I mean, I'm not putting down the process, but if it further isolates people, I think that's a problem.
I agree.
If people feel isolated, it becomes a problem.
I want to say thank you so much for sharing that. You know, Mingjie and I were just talking about how we are on the other side of this program, right? We've spent the time, we've done the program, we've done the steps. So we're really far away from where John is, right? And John is our target audience. So the experiences that you're having right now are going to revolutionize the way that Mingjie and I think about this process, because Mingjie and I have gone through the process, so we're not in the same headspace. So that's really important. That's really important for you to share those experiences with us so we can understand and remember what it's like being in the center of your heartache. When you're right in the center, you're right. Some days are so hard, you don't even want to get out of bed. Why would you want to open a book and sit alone, right? Whereas if you're sitting in a group of other people, or if you're connected, really connected with our online group, then maybe it's a different experience. But asking you to sit in your house alone, yeah, I can see how that'd be a really hard experience.
I mean, at the end of the day, you have to journal by yourself. Okay, that's a given. However, if and I don't know, I'm just kind of thinking out loud. If I know I'm listening to who is this? It's the one I just did. Oh hell! If I know that I'm listening to Kira with a group of other people, and that maybe we're going to talk about what we heard, and you know, just for a short while, my ability to get off that conference and open that book and start writing might be a little greater.
Yeah. So I want to validate that. I think it's really important because when you're in a group, you can talk about the things. Maybe you can even start your journal entry in a group, right? Where you start to get these ideas and you start to get inspiration. And then when you go home and when you're by yourself again, it's easier to re-engage with that material, and it's easier to sit by yourself and actually write your entry because you've had this interaction with other people. I think that's really important.
It also gives you a way past the whole, you know, what people used to call writer's block. Well, I just don't know how to get started. So I agree with, you know, if everybody gets the first 2, 3, 4 sentences of their journal entry going while they're part of a group, they're gonna have a much greater chance of digging into it later. So I don't know how feasible doing that is, but I think it's worth looking at.
I like to comment on that. So what I'm hearing is that we can take the sponsorship money that we're asking for, put their sponsorship logos in the diaries, and pay our in-staff people who've done this to go out there and start producing the first iterations of the journaling circles.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
And you're just gonna have to bear with me because, you know, my technology is not my strength, but you know, we're always using Zoom, and I know Zoom has competitors, whoever they may be, but maybe there's a video conferencing company out there that would enjoy the traffic.
Yeah.
Of, you know, bringing people together from different places. I mean, you're in California, I'm in Florida. Your CFO's in Lebanon.
I'm all the way across the world.
Right, and Annalyn's in Washington State. So maybe there's a video conferencing company out there that, you know, that could be sympathetic to this effort.
I believe, yeah, to answer your question, John, I believe Google has given us an upgrade, but I need to follow up with them on that. Google has this thing called, oh, ouch, that was loud. Okay, well, we only have 8 minutes, but I'll get back to you on that, John. It's something to do with Google.
Where I'm going with that, though,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Google has a video chat thing that allows multiple people. So we'll look into that. Thank you, John. So let's talk about the package itself, right? I think if the board focuses on, together as a team, focuses on targeting big corporations, Ibraheem and I will work on what exactly will the money go towards. And what I'm hearing is we can target corporations and their employees to do the online stuff with us. And we could bring the in-person experience to the college community and paying our own in-house staff to do that. That's what I'm hearing. Is it anyone hearing something different? Or is this what we're hearing?
Yeah, no, after what John said, he basically, I think he narrated for us that the strength of our product is the community part of it. And so that's really one of, like, I was listening to the thing you sent me on raising capital, and that's probably, like, I would say our biggest, like, why we need the money. So I think we should work really hard on trying to make the community aspect of our product the, like, shining point of it. Because if people are going to invest in us, they need to have, like, a really strong why. And I would say that's, like, something different that you said we're the only people who are really bringing this to the table. So that could be a really good why for our crowd, for our capital raising.
Yeah.
I agree.
So we now have two target segments. We have the corporations and their employees, and then we have the college community. And I strongly feel that the money, if we could convince the corporations that by investing and donating with a tax deduction to us, we will give your employees that added bonus for mental health or whatever we want to package it as, a journaling program for people going through grief. And we're going to be taking their logos with the physical copy of the books to the college community and building, journaling groups and letting them know, hey, this is sponsored by Target or Starbucks,
I got a question. Which steps should come first? Like, should we get the sponsors, or should we kind of try going into college communities and showing them that they can get a return on their investment because we have this turnout, let's say?
I think right now we have to focus on sponsorship because there's not enough money to incentivize like Callie going to her community. I get what you're saying. Often companies don't want to invest unless they see like how successful are you. What we're going to have to do is explain to them, we have done this pilot. This is how many people have graduated from the pilot. We need to pull some testimonials from the pilot and see, if we can pull any statistics from that information. But I think we need to at least try to do the sponsorships first.
Yeah, I agree with Annalyn.
Yeah, it does make plenty of sense. I guess the best part would have, or the most important part would have to be those testimonials, the details on the pilot, all drawn together.
I
think
agree.
that would be really important. We got to really work on that, making that a strong point. And I
Anybody,
think it would be perfect.
anybody know how many potential testimonials there might be?
Okay.
We could probably get one from all of the producers.
Well, what is that number roughly?
Oh boy. How many producers do we have now? 5, 6?
5, maybe 6 if it's me, but we could so we could pull it from us, and then we could also pull it from our Facebook. We have some comments there. We could pull it from just everyday journal artists that have already started the program with us. We could pull from, I've been recording some of our sessions, and we could even do a video testimonial for that. But at the end of the day, I think the great thing is I'm listening to the sales mentor challenge right now, and people are selling without even having a product. That to me blows my mind. There is a certain confidence, level of confidence people exude when they in a unique proposition they offer. We have all that. We really do. So we have 100,000 unique visitors since the start of the online publication. We have the physical copy of the book. We could show them. We could gather a few. I think it's quality over quantity when it comes to testimonials.
That's what I wanted to say too.
Yeah.
Upping the quality will really help. The thing they said was information comes second, the people come first. I think that's a really good choice. Maybe that video call you were saying or video testimonials would probably be the best.
Okay. And then there's actually a sailing script that we can learn from, and it has to be person to person. Like there's some kind of way to just get the right lead and get to the right person who can understand, because they're probably going through something quite unique. And when we share from that heart space, it's going to resonate with them deeply, and they know that this is going to work. So it's about getting to the right person to share this with, and that person opening the doors for us. And that all has to do with selling. And if we're out of time, I think we could follow up again next week to discuss this part right here. But I think this part is pretty self-explanatory, and that's more of what me and Annalyn are producing together. So as far as today's conversation, let's just stick to this. I think if we only have two things to work together for with because our time is limited right now. We're all doing this on a volunteer basis, so there's only X amount of time we can give. Let's make that time sustainable at this point. I think that's the point of our conversation this month, is let's focus on sponsorship, leads, and closes. And let's take the skills from successful businesses and translate it to our business and see our organization as a business now. We just got to see it as a business. With that, I just want to end it and say thank you so much for being here. And let's just keep the conversation alive between now and the next board meeting. And if group conscious, we want to have another board meeting in a few weeks, let's do that. Yeah?
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good to me.